Welcome to the
Brodies.
And we're back
At the Brodies.
A bunch of bros.
On the couches.
And the chair.
Whoa. Nigga.
Nah, all right. I felt it. I was with it.
So,
The old brown is coming back.
America.
I was with it. I was with it.
It's not necessarily his fault. It's just that I wear the microphone, and when you make loud noises such as that,
You wear the microphones?
It
He meant
easily.
headphones. Stop it. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what you do every time. And he puts this look on his face.
He's
and I'm
coming
just
back.
praying for the day that he does not launch over there and just get you. Like,
I'm jumping behind Slim if that happens.
It easily upsets me because they know they've had chances of wearing the headphones.
Who is they?
And all y'all wearing the
First of all,
headphones,
Brown,
and know that
I
it
respect-
hurts your ears.
I respect your OG. I don't piss you off. I don't. We laugh together. I don't piss you off.
we laughed together. What?
Were we not laughing before we hit record?
Yo, I'm just trying to say, like, when you make the noises, it sends a shooting pain through my brain that makes me also want to infect that pain back towards you in a way that you feel and internalize it. Maybe greater, equal than or greater, more likely greater than what I'm feeling in my soul and spirit at the time. I'm Mr. Brown.
That's the toxic of that straight.
Slim.
Cash.
Malcolm.
Ooh.
He is Malcolm. Telling you, he is.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that. And today we're going to talk about toxic relationships. That is our theme for today, toxic relationship. This is the month of not only Black History, but it's also we celebrate love. So hopefully y'all got all y'all love forts together already, that y'all had good time in y'all love forts. It's still, you keep them up like a Christmas tree. Keep it up for the rest of all year long. And your love for it.
Tent time.
Love for it.
So we got to talk about the most toxic relationship that's going on right here in America. Full disclosure, we generally record this podcast on a Saturday. So we got the recent news that Donald John Trump
Dumbass.
has been acquitted of his transactions of having an insurrection on the Capitol. And so the most toxic relationship that we have right now is Republicans, 43 of them, and the rest of America and democracy. Like, this shit is toxic. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to get y'all thoughts, what y'all think about it. What y'all think? I'll reserve my comments.
I think the 43 people you just go down with the ship and you're just going to stick with it. It's like their version of Titanic is how I'm looking at it. They're like, no, I'm going down with it, so that's what I'm going to do. But then you had the other, 7? That were like, nah, nigga, I'm getting on the lifeboat. I'm getting fuck off this. I need to save myself. Mm-hmm. But the other 43 were like, nope, going down with the ship. They're the band playing as the ship goes down. They're like, oh, I've been riding it this far, so fuck it. So I looked at it. Good talk, guys.
No,
I'm in shock. I mean, I think what this vote proves is that it's not about, I guess, honoring the Constitution. It's not even about right or wrong. It's about staying true to your tribe, you know. And what the 43 individuals just said was that they rather honor one man versus then acknowledge the reality of what just happened. Now, granted, in the spirit of Brown, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised any of this happened.
And what is wet news?
It's not news, but just to see
There's
it,
a bear shit in the woods.
you know, you just hope. And I thought that because their lives were in danger, that they would have voted differently.
Dog, that's the ludicrous thing. It's
Yeah.
like, are you only kind of behavior I've seen this come from is from two types of people. It might be more, but the two ones that come to my brain,
Yeah.
those who are in a cult and those who are being pimped.
Yeah.
This is the only time where you accept this kind of abusive behavior and be like, oh, man, this shit cool, man.
But then
But hoes fight back, though, sometimes.
Sooner or later, the light bulb come on. They
yeah,
get
and
beat.
it's like, what does he have on these 57,
Well, 43.
I'm sorry, 43 people that...
What I truly think it is that at least those 43, I truly think 34 of them just came together and said, all right, if we just stick our guns, he'll be good.
But think about what message that's really sending.
There's a lot of messages being sent that's wrong. So I'm not like.
And I'm not saying I'm not negating you, but it's just like, my God, like.
Oh no, it's sick. Niggas is sick.
No, but I think this is the way that the tribalism has gone for real, is that I think some of them didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice. They had to vote to acquit because they come from states where their constituency has been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, and ran amok and all that other stuff that Malcolm said in that speech. And they know where their bread is buttered. Now, from Alaska's actually trending more progressive. So, of course, the senator from Alaska, one of them was like, nah, son, he guilty. You got the senator from Pennsylvania. That shit was close. He like, I'm a Republican, but nah, I know how the game go, baby.
Right, I know how it works.
I need some of these votes from some of these blue people to go ahead and vote for me. I don't need them saying that. The one that surprised me is a homie from Louisiana was like, nah, you guilty.
Right.
It's like, I'm like, what word?
Guilty.
And Louisiana Republicans said he was guilty.
Yeah.
That says a lot, because we knew Mitt Romney was gonna be like, that nigga guilty.
Whatever they say he
Not
did,
to
that
make
nigga
light
did
of
that
the
shit.
situation, but I think the best part of watching this was just hearing them scream out there.
That's
right?
what the best part to me. Guilty.
Guilty.
Nah, that nigga did it.
Was elected from Georgia. He was the funnier one.
Yeah.
I think
He's
he
like,
was the,
guilty.
Raphael Warnock, my Morehouse brother, is like, that nigga guilty.
Yo, can y'all imagine if DMX was saying guilty or not guilty during
Oh
this
my
time?
God, not.
That nigga guilty. Why we even here?
Hey, yo,
Who voted not guilty?
hey, yo, bitch.
The here Republicans, what y'all doing?
Yo, so
Quiche.
So you gotta play the game, because I know someone like Mitch McConnell who does everything political. If he knew 57 votes was in there, he would have voted with the 57. Because Mitch don't give a shit about anything.
Well,
but
he's
Mitch.
about to leave too, isn't he? He's about done.
What? He just got re-voted.
I know he just got reelected,
so
but I don't
is
think
he
he's-
gonna last another 6 years? I don't know. He looks
Probably
kind of
not.
frail.
Probably not.
That turtles live long now. Shit, have you been to the Galapagos Islands?
Turtles be out here for centuries. You be like, damn.
I hate you.
Them jokers old as shit.
But can we tell the joke that you did earlier about had Obama?
Oh
did
man,
it?
no shit. Well, that ain't even my joke. I was listening to Boosie, a badass fame.
Oh Lord.
And Boosie was like, "Yo, if Obama had did what Trump had did, them niggas wouldn't even let him out the jail right now.
Nope.
He would have been still waiting on bond.
Yeah.
They be like, nah, nigga, you getting impeached and you going to prison. Both of them shits.
As soon as you leave, right out the White House, right into jail.
It'd be a GoFundMe going for Obama if that was the case.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And I just had to put my head down, like, for real. Like, you know, and that's black people. We got a different standard that we got to hold ourselves to. And so there's a lot of times where you ever had someone you really, really admired, and they really messed up on a public scale. He's like, damn, how long do I continue to support him before I gotta put my head down? Like, nah, I don't know that nigga. I gotta treat him like Peter did Jesus. I don't know no Jesus. Ain't that your man showing the picture with him right there eating dinner? I don't know no Jesus.
That's not me.
That ain't me,
Clearly,
son.
y'all look alike.
You sure? You sure?
Hell, I don't know Jesus.
Had the
Peter
same
is not
outfit on.
DMX. You stop it. Stop it right now.
Hell.
Peter was pretty gangster there, Brian.
pretty gangster.
He's cutting ears off like, yo,
I don't know.
What you say about my mans? Whop, your ear gone. They're like, damn, nigga, just kind of ears.
Hey, Judas, what you doing?
Oh boy.
Man, so
And I'm mad at all three of you. You messed up my algorithm this week. I've just been getting nothing but DMX things on my timeline. It's ridiculous.
man,
Oh,
better
man.
appreciate DMX.
Word.
He's a gift.
Appreciate it.
My favorite, I meant to say it last week, but I didn't know where to sneak this in. I loved him in Romeo Must Die. That film. Now, granted, all his
that
acting
the one
roles
with
are the
Jet
same.
Li?
That was Jet
Okay.
Li and Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, yeah.
But it made me
yeah, she
laugh
was
because
in
when
it.
you guys were doing the DMX impersonation, and like I just literally went through all his movies, and I was like, oh my god, he really is monotone, and like
He's not acting.
no,
they
it's
just say,
not.
yo,
I had to go home and really think about it. I was like, no, well, he did a little bit of it, and I was like, no.
No, like
No.
everybody else got a script. Yo, X, you just respond how you normally will respond in the situation, and we just gonna film it.
Damn, Dragon.
The rapper?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But
Never
he
heard that
did a movie
name.
with Dragon, and I think that's where I got confused because I used to think both of them look alike.
Right.
But, yeah. Anyway,
Racist.
This is why I don't talk hip hop. Go ahead.
It's okay.
Yo,
I'm X.
man, but
Dragon did have a good album though. I'm put out there. That first album was pretty decent.
he had a good song.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was a good song.
No, it was a couple
Stop
of
it,
songs.
stop it right now.
Name
Stop.
It was a couple of good
Name 'em.
songs.
Stop it
If
right
they were
now.
good, name them.
I
Don't
don't
pull up
even
your phone.
remember.
Don't pull up your
No,
phone.
no, no,
if they
no.
were good, you would know them.
Can't never get
Well,
my shine.
we got time to worry about that later. But we about to
I like
get
Dragon.
into our main section in a little bit after these messages.
Yep, it's your boy Cash from the Brodies. If you like what you're listening to, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that. Subscribe to us everywhere where podcasts are. Tell your friends about us. Make sure you tell them. Enjoy the show.
So now let's get into our topic at hand.
Non-spoiler.
Toxic, nigga.
My bad. I love you though. This is not toxic. We not toxic.
Toxic relationships. Like, damn, man, can you leave, let me finish the sentence? And speaking of toxic relationships, we wanted to keep it in the vein. We thought about, we hadn't had a chance to quite review this film until now. And this will not be included in the pantheon of black love movies at all. Even though it has black people who may or may not be in love. Malcolm and Marie, a new film on Netflix that stars John David Washington and Zendaya. Zendaya, you know, she ain't got no last name because when you on that level, you don't need no last name.
That's funny. That's true,
no
actually.
more.
So she's like Seal. Just
Yeah, she like Seal. She like Rihanna. She
Sade.
like
Madonna.
yeah, all that. Y'all know. Y'all niggas know. All this time I thought Prince was a made up name. Like, no, nigga, that's my name.
No,
That's what they gave me.
Prince Rogers Nelson. I think was his full name.
yeah. I know, nigga.
I know, nigga. I know that name.
All right. But so, what's your thoughts as far? Let's start simple. No spoilers for the audience who may not have seen this movie.
All right.
No spoilers for those who may not have seen the movie.
It's not toxic at all.
No spoilers for those who may have not seen the movie. Where was their relationship toxic? And go.
And go part was funny.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I think after watching it, I thought their relationship was toxic. And what's crazy, I'm gonna save that for another time. I'm not gonna even say that there. Watching the movie, they brought out the best in each other, but then at the same time, they brought out the worst in each other. And they can be clicking 1 minute, and then the next minute they're arguing. I'm like, yo, y'all was just in a good place. Like, what changed? But it was always something lingering, like around, and it got me thinking about like, could I date somebody like that? Absolutely not. No way someone can go through that. Because I'm like, you know what? This is not going to work. Let's cut the cord now. You go your way, I go my way. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I will answer your question, though, Brian.
I think they were, but I do agree with you that they brought out the best in each other and the worst. But I also feel like that is kind of that statement is with every relationship, because if they're your
Wrong. Keep going.
because if they bring out the best in you, then clearly that means they have that emotional attachment and connection with you where they could also bring out the worst in you.
Yin yang, nigga. Oh, you don't like it when so that's
No, it's funny. That's what I'm saying. That's funny.
Payback.
Only toxic people want payback. No, it's just like that's why I feel with that statement. It's like, no, like of course you're gonna bring out the best in me, but then also since I value you and care for you so much, and like your thoughts and opinions I put over like probably 9 out of 10 people, you're also the person that can also bring me down. Cause it's like, if I say something hurtful to you, you just be like, oh, whatever, it's Cass. But like if your significant other says something hurtful, you be like, oh, whoa. Like it stings differently. So that's why I'm like, that person can bring out the best and the worst in you. But for them, I do think they were toxic. But I think it's a weird toxicity. It's more so they deserve each other, but then also, without spoiling it, I do think it's more work on his end than hers, based on what they gave us personally. Oh yeah, I can't look at me like that wide-eyed anyway, but
No, nigga, keep doing what you do.
I don't know. So that's why I'm just like, because based on their arguments and the points, is just I was like, and I already think there's an underlying issue that I had with him in the film anyway that I don't think I could say without spoilers. So,
B, what say you? So let's actually preface this. I know I don't want to mansplain for you, but audience, y'all need to check out the B Anthony podcast, B Signal podcast.
Thanks, Scott.
Because he talks a lot about film. Me and B Anthony have a connection that we both have a love for film. We both worked on film. We both write scripts and do all that. We've studied the greats. We studied the masters. And if you have watched Malcolm and Marie, you know that the main protagonist, well, there's only two people. So the man in the movie is really into film and the art of filmmaking. And so I wanted to preface that there's a connection to filmmaking amongst the two of us that may influence our perspective. One of them words. No. So go ahead and say your
I like
piece.
film. We like film, right?
Y'all don't do it like we do it, Slim. Y'all don't do it like we do it.
Yeah, like shit.
Y'all don't study the nuances.
I think I do. I researched.
Who's Billy Wilder?
That don't mean I don't know film.
See?
Sounds like a country singer to me.
Word. I was like,
Maybe 18 Grammys.
Have you watched the movie from Orson Welles?
so to study film, I have to watch from
He
certain
ate
people.
himself.
Oh,
No,
man.
he didn't say he ate himself. You stopped it.
That's from Superbad.
God.
Remember, he's like, he ate himself.
Oh,
You know,
man.
I have not seen Superbad.
That's another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, go ahead, Malcolm Marie.
Sorry,
we won't
sorry.
get off topic.
I love the film. Let me just.
Are
put
they
it that way.
toxic? No. Yeah, I love the film.
Yes, it is a toxic relationship. But what I appreciate about
You
it,
knew that butt was coming, right? You heard of how he set it up. Keep going.
I don't think it was toxic for the sake of just being horrible people.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't think it was that. And I think what I love about it, without giving the ending away, the fact that this Marie was able to really get to the core of what was going on with her, but Malcolm was so stuck in the art of the conversation or the art of the argument, let me do it that way, kind of gives leeway as to what the real foundation of the problem really is. I also feel like it's very problematic to be with someone and to make, this is hard because I don't want to give anything away,
Yeah, it's real. Like yeah.
but it's very hard. Let me do the easy stuff first. The cinematography was wonderful.
Oh, that was beautiful.
He
That
said,
was-
I'm going to do a review. I didn't even want to talk about the toxicity no more. Did you
No.
see the shot, nigga? Did you see the shot?
the way to black and white.
It was a medium shot.
It's very hard to have a conversation with anybody and you two are talking from two different places,
True,
right?
true,
And
true.
I think that what is the genius about the film, because one person is very consistent if you watch the whole thing about what the issue is. The other person talks about everything else.
But the issue.
And then I like the fact that cinematically, if you notice, one person strips down very early in the film, which runs parallel with how they are giving their point of view. And the other person, it takes them about 3/4 of the way before they start to.
Andre.
I didn't even think.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
noticed
That shit right there is genius right there.
That's genius. He like film. He
Yeah,
studied
boy, that boy
film.
watch
He
film.
studied film.
He was like, baby, take off your cool. I want to see you. I want to see you. That's what Andre 3000 said.
And it was so easy. Without giving it away, it was so easy for her to like just peel back those layers.
Yeah.
Her was like, okay, this is who I am. Boom. Him, it was like, okay, I'm gonna get this point across. Let me unbutton my tie first. All right, my shoes gotta come off
man.
next.
Right.
It was in
Oh, shit.
sections. It was in sections.
It was let me keep this composure,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Even when he was mad about certain things, like what the critics said, and on the surface, he's like
See, so
expressing
you
what.
getting into details now.
Oh.
No. Keep it
Oh,
on.
it's too much? Okay.
Keep it on the
tough,
surface. Keep it on the
Okay,
surface,
but
player.
even when he was getting mad about certain things, even with that anger, the fact that Marie was able to look at it and laugh at it, because it's like, you're not mad about what it is that you're saying you're mad about, but I'm going to entertain you because this is what you're giving me.
Misguided.
And I thought And I think that's what people miss throughout the
Yeah.
movie. Of course, it's a toxic relationship, but every film needs conflict, right? So I would have been bored if it was something, you know, whatever. But I think by the time you get to the end, you get to the core of what was really, what it really was.
It's like they finally see each other. It's like.
I don't think it was.
I think the light bulb comes on. Like it's just my perspective. I think you get to the end, like when they are in different parts of the movie, different rooms. It's like for me, it was like, oh, okay, maybe they see each other now. Maybe they see what they've been trying to say the whole time. That's how I took it. That was my
Piggyback
perspective.
off of that.
I like the whole dichotomy to it being in the same house but in different sections or in different places. That cinematically, it's just done so brilliantly, right? Like, and then the fact, of course, they probably shot it that way because of the pandemic.
Keep it on the level now.
I'm good. They shot it that way because of the pandemic, so that's fine. But the way that everyone was placed, the one thing that we were talking about as to that should never happen, especially if you have a bathroom in the house. Even that moment, it was very intentional. Like I can't even let out the negative stuff. That's what I got from it. I have to go someplace different to, you know. So it is a toxic relationship.
But let me get into before y'all go deep in the woods, because I saw you about to go deep into some stuff. My perspective, because I think I was the last of the Brodies to actually watch the movie.
Literally
the last of the Brodies to watch movies. And I'm literally looking at my timeline, and it was like, yo, I could only watch 15 minutes of this movie. Yo, it's the most toxic thing I've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. Like, I saw that constantly. A lot of people. No one said it was bad. They just like, it's hard for me to digest this material. You ain't gonna let me finish?
I was gonna say I thought something was funny, but now you go, man.
I knew that was going to happen.
Because him saying that just
I'm
reminded
going
me
to
of
do a
something.
black and white film called Brown and Cass.
Write that shit. It'd be fun times. They don't do toxic male friendships and relationships. They don't do that.
There you go,
They
Brian.
don't do that.
There you
Brown
go.
is going to be so cool, but I'm not doing it in black and white. It needs to be.
Actually, I did see Toxic One. We'll talk about that later. But when I watched it, my main thought was like, ain't y'all too exhausted yet? Like, nigga, I would have been going to sleep. Like, yo, you're bugging right now. You're really lunching. I'm going to go to sleep. And we're going to try again in the morning.
Take two.
Because this is too much energy. Exuded. Like, you can't be on 10 for an hour. Like, you ever remember when y'all was little and you got a spanking? And your emotions get all the way up to 10, and you're screaming and yelling because you just got a spanking. Unless I was one of them thug ass children who was like took that spanking like it was Denzel in Glory.
I said that shoe slip.
It's like, but when the spanking was over, what did you do after spanking was done?
Go to bed.
You took your ass to sleep.
Just went to
'Cause
sleep.
you
That's
cry.
what you do.
Look, like you ain't even meant to go to sleep. You just so much energy was expended
You're
that your body
exhausted.
was like recharged. It's like, yeah, you right. And I was like, all the macaroni and cheese in the world is not going to provide me the caloric energy to replace that the amount of stuff that's been expended in this conversation.
But I think the reason, and again, so done, he had already built up energy from the reason, the catalyst for the whole story, right? But he was going to expel that energy through one way, and because it didn't happen that way, and it was done in a very combative way, he was going to give out that energy one way or the other.
Dog, I swear this dude had to be drinking some Four Locos back there because that liquor should have slowed you down, and he was getting amped up. I'm like, nah, bro, this it was a bit much. Y'all wasn't tired. I was tired looking at him.
I was entertained.
I had to break it in half.
I wasn't really tired.
I had to break the movie in half. I was like, nah, not tonight, player. Let me go.
I'm like,
I
I'm like
watched
that
that bitch
neighbor who was like, "Oh,
cold.
they arguing. Let me step outside and take out the trash again." What y'all doing? You know,
Take out the trash, you start wiping your front door. Like, yeah, it's kind of hot.
Hey, they still going at it. The part that made me like laugh is when never mind.
Yeah, shit ain't easy, right?
So here's a hot take for you.
All right.
Can I say what I thought was funny? Before
Oh
we
yeah,
hot take?
go ahead.
I saw something on Twitter. You remember that scene of Lawrence and Issa arguing like in season 2
Yeah.
when he brought the Spanish I think she was Spanish to like the.
Oh yeah, to the dinner.
And they were arguing
Oh.
outside about like her doing that and like her cheating all that stuff. They was like, "This is Malcolm and Marie for 1 hour and 45 minutes."
Oh, I never thought
Oh,
of that.
that's funny.
I was dying.
That is true.
This shit go a little bit deeper. It's
Way deeper than that. But
It
when
was
I saw-
deeper than rap.
Like I
Good
saw that
Lord.
before watching it, and I was like,
Makes sense.
and then I just when he was talking, Brown was talking, I was like, huh, now I understand why people were saying that. I get it. That just was just funny to me. I'm sorry.
My thoughts, like, you know, I also saw on the internets that they should break up. And me watching the film, I was like, nah, y'all stay together
Yeah.
forever.
Keep that
forever.
energy
Keep
that
that
way.
energy over there. Yeah. You don't need to bring that nowhere, nobody else.
Your partner say, hey, we got a double date with Malcolm. Malcolm, who? Nah, we good.
Nah,
we good.
I don't
we,
need
we
that in
busy.
my
You guys
life.
wouldn't go on a double date with Malcolm and Marie?
Nah.
Nah.
Absolutely not.
Nah, it sounds dreadful.
Hell no. That's a headache.
I think you know what?
They look like the type that Marie would be like, so, to your sitting around, what would you
Privately.
do when you'd be like,
Like, don't bring my bitch in this.
Privately, I think you guys would be okay because I think what the movie proves is that they know how to behave in public, but they didn't really explode until they got home. So all of that happened privately.
I feel like it depends
I
on
give you
how
that.
close. It depends on how close you are with them as friends. Like if you just like
I don't
Queen.
think so because based off of the Malcolm character, he's very much into the industry, right? And so if you're going to be with him, above all else, we know that you're going to respect what he does and you're going to respect the circle. Because if that was the case, she would have done that in a different context
Man.
versus
But I
how
f-
it was.
but I feel like when you
missed
double
this,
date,
you missed
it
this
does-
point. Yeah, go ahead.
when you double date, and it's not like I'm not saying like an industry friend. I'm saying like your man's. Like if me and Malcolm were very close, like best friends whole life, and then I went on the double date, it'd be I would see that. Like depending on how
I
close you are
think
with them.
because of how Malcolm is wired, though, he would already at least have that expectation of you don't do that.
Okay.
No matter
See,
who's
see,
around.
see, you arguing like Malcolm right now. You arguing, you ain't seeing this man's point right now. You ain't hearing what he's saying.
is why I told him.
See, what's happening right now? This man saying he is Otis Williams and he chilling with his lady, and you David Ruffin beating yours, and he like, bruh, what you doing now? Now David ain't beating her in front of everybody, but he beating her in front of you, and you like, dog.
Like I gotta, I
gotta say something.
Like, I can't just watch it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, I agree with your points, but I think it's more industry. Like if they were at like an industry event or with some other filmmakers or something like that. But I'm saying whoever their like close personal friends are, you don't get that in a movie. It's literally just them two. So we're bringing this outside factor in. But if it's like their close personal friends, you see that. Like when you go out and double dates with your close personal friends. You're personal friends for a reason. You'll see a little bit of argument. You won't see it to the full degree, but you'll see enough to where you type your partner like, yo, you see this shit? Like,
I feel like
that's
Malcolm
crazy.
and Marie are walking Instagram like
Nah.
example.
Well,
I do.
That don't mean nothing. That's
I feel like they're the couples, and I hate these couples that take all these cute pictures together and everything is rosy, and you're always like, kissy or whatever, and then the moment that camera or you're not looking at the Instagram, and if you just happen to be in the audience of that couple and just see what happens, and it's nothing but like toxic mess, then you're just it's disheartening.
See, I agree with you, but I don't like. I still feel like you're talking like a surface level friend, but not like when it's like imagine your best friend and you went out with whoever your best friend is, you went out with them on a double date. You would see a little bit of like the oh shit, this is what the fuck they doing.
If you're paying attention, I believe you see it. But and maybe this speaks to the type of people that I have hung out with. But I've seen couples to where they have that thing down to a science, to where you're not only going to see but so much, even if we are close, because what you're going to see is what we show you. That's where they agree. But if they're behind the scenes, they're the type of couple like, oh, I thought they loved each other, and then like out the blue, oh, we're getting a divorce. I'm like, why are you getting a divorce? Like you have those couples that can camouflage it that well. I'm not making it up. Like
No, I agree with you. I just think when you're like the close, like you see the shit, and you be like, oh.
so, like, have you and your lady had a type of fight in front of your?
Don't put me in that position, Slim. Don't do that, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Why you say my name? I didn't even say nothing.
He said, "I said my name."
Slim for everybody. We in DC, Slim. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say
yeah.
I
Right.
really did. I know what I do.
He's like, I'm just here listening to the points being made. Like don't send me home to some trouble.
What did I do? Like,
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like not in public. Like I understand what you're saying, and we to a degree would be like that, but the close ones would know. Like,
and maybe that's because again, I I'm not a proponent of double dating, but
Oh, I'm not either.
I hate it.
yeah, I
awkward.
just think it's weird. I feel like what Fred and Wilma and Betty and
It's nice if everybody like each other, but
Yeah, like,
I'm
Yeah, that's different. It's a different ball
But when
game.
like two people
Oh.
don't or not like a fond of each other, it's like it's awkward. I'm not doing
He
this.
likes basketball. You like basketball. Y'all should hang out. Like
That's what women do with guys. That shit is so,
Yeah.
like, he likes sports. You be like, so I don't
but
fucking
can
like
I
him.
say something though?
sure.
Can we congratulate Malcolm and Marie for earning full accommodations from emotional terrorism school? They went to different sectors of the school now, but they are top-notch lieutenants in the emotional terrorism army. Like, y'all really know how to work the points that you need to work. Like, ooh, I'm gonna get them right here, bam.
You see,
and
but I
then she
feel
like,
like-
oh, I'm gonna get them like that, bam.
Like, I
And
feel
her,
like
bam.
Marie was trying to get to the core, and then even when she was upset, and Malcolm was just like, "Oh, now I'm hurt, and I'm just gonna say some messed up shit about you, or to you."
Yeah, he
That's
cut,
why I
he
feel
cut
like-
deep on certain
Like, for
scenes.
no reasons.
He cut deep. I'm like, yo, you ain't have to go that deep.
Yeah, like, you
though,
ain't need to
man.
do
You
that.
have to look at why he cut deep.
I get that. I get that. Like I understand that. But even
we have to do
it-
a non-spoiler.
like
version.
even in a relationship, like if I'm beefing with my old lady, I'm not gonna cut. I'm gonna get my shit off, but I'm not gonna take it like that personal to where it's like, yo, I'm bringing some old shit in your past. Like I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, that or even the other shit he's done in his past.
Yeah.
It's like that's not relevant. Like I get why he brought it up to like because the what they were
you
arguing
can't
about.
keep counterpointing me before I say it. Like,
I'm trying to counterpoint and also with like not doing spoilers. It's like I get why he felt that he needed to bring it up. But then for me, certain times in arguments when you have arguments with significant others, it's like certain times just like, yo, just take the L. Like it's not the W's not for you tonight. It's not meant to be for you. That comes to me, that comes to a petty scale where
Malcolm
it's like
wasn't doing that.
Slim ain't taking no L's.
see
Malcolm, because for him to take a L, it would insult not only him as a person, but something that was more important to him than his personage, which was
She forgot about that man's gangster, and he had a reminder of a gangster. I'm a G, baby. I'm a G.
is he? Oh, I can't break that out.
No, he was at least trying to prove he was a G. She tried to call him out like he was like a lame, and he was like
Some type of
"Babe,
sucker."
Like, baby, you don't know what I was doing in them streets before you.
And then he was like,
Let me
bam, bam. I was
let me
like,
remind you
oh,
of my
oh my
gangster.
God.
But even with that,
When he broke that down, that opens up a whole nother.
He went too hard because he forgot. You can always check the transcript again in the court of law. And when you were in an argument with your girl, that is a court of law. And
It'll
what
be
do you
brought up.
want on the record? Because that's on the record forever. There ain't no expunging that record.
and she said that, and for all intents and purposes, she let him know like you didn't have to do that.
I can't unsee it now. Like
Yeah.
I see that every.
I think my favorite line is when she said you could have won the argument without saying
With 20% less.
yeah, with 20% less.
Like, oh, you
And
Go
that's
80,
always the case in
Yeah.
an argument. That's always the case. But I think as humans, like we feel threatened or we feel like, oh, they're coming at me. So let me say something back to them that's gonna be hurtful. And it's like argument. It's like it's about who's being the bigger person. Say your point. Say it in a way that is not rude or insensitive, but it's like, hey, this is how I feel. I hear you. Let's work together to move on.
You know, I just had a moment. In that way, we are like, because my best friend calls me out on it, like if I'm having a back and forth in the group chat, and I'm not always aware of it, but I'll go like super deep. I'll cut to the whatever.
And it's like,
then,
nigga.
and then she's like, you didn't have to do that. And I'm like,
Like,
but you
you
didn't hear what, they're like, no, Brian.
You didn't have to go that
You
deep.
didn't have to, but it's instinctive, right? Like I honestly wasn't thinking like, I'm going to get you, and this is how, it wasn't even planned. It's just I knew where to go. And yeah, I just, that's a flaw.
See, for me, I'll be transparent. My mom is that type of like debate. Like when she's cutting deep, and like I've seen that in my whole life. So that's why I always make sure I'm cognizant. Like, all right, even if I'm pissed off, certain lines just don't need to be crossed unless something drastic happened to you. Like,
Yeah.
No.
When I say something-
I'm saying to all y'all right now, especially America, no, you don't have to go deep even if they go hard. That's the problem
No.
with y'all right now. That's why I don't argue with a lot of niggas, because I don't do, like, we don't need to go that deep.
Which
you
is
don't
why-
you don't gotta be like the way you act like that because your mama was on crack when she had you. Why did you say that? Like, that's unnecessary, sir.
I'm always talking like if you saw like the extremist, like the 1% of situations, like you walked in on your partner having sex with like your best, something so drastic.
I
where
walk
it's like,
out and get the Thule. Ain't nothing to talk about.
That hoe up. Everybody getting hit.
Yeah, ain't nothing to argue about on that.
I think
Hey, yo, bitch. Who is this nigga?
In my bed.
Quiche. Dog. Or
Is that my role?
or make everybody uncomfortable. Start taking your clothes off too. Be like,
Oh, this is what we doing.
this is
Oh,
what we doing.
Oh, all right, we about that party. Like, whoa.
No.
that's an inappropriate joke.
We're all here for the inappropriate jokes.
That's
Make it,
so
come on.
inappropriate.
Nah, come on. It can't be
No,
that bad.
no.
No,
We,
not
We'll edit it if it's that bad.
nah, we don't got time for all that.
Thank you. I don't want to make Brown's hard job too hard.
Closing thought?
So, I want to do a episode where we don't have to be so careful about
But we
what
could give spoilers.
Yeah.
Hey, you can check out a spoiler-free review of Malcolm and Marie on our Patreon page. Check it out on our Patreon page. And we're going to get back into this topic after these messages.
Yo. This is Slim making up 1/4 of the Brodies. If you love this content, if you can dig it, subscribe to us on all platforms at the Brody Pod.
And we're back talking about toxic relationships. And something that kind of poked in my head was a scene where Malcolm and Marie, where Marie really went out of her way to show Malcolm how great of an actress she truly was.
That was
an
beautiful.
excellent scene.
And that reminded me of my own life. America, I'm going to say this honestly, and it could be someone calling me all kind of liars right now. I am not a toxic individual. I don't display toxic behavior on a regular basis. But that scene reminded me of the time I was dating a young lady. And I'm literally driving in the car. I was 23 years old at the time. And I had picked her up from a bus station. And she had came down to see me for her birthday.
Oh.
She was turning 19. I know I was wrong or whatever. You talking someone, I'm 23, she's 19 years old. Yeah, I know. We in two different phases of life and whatnot. About part way through the trip, she reaches for my radio to change the station or the song. And I was like, yo, what the hell you doing? I think I might have shooed her hand away. I might have smacked at it or something like that. And like, nah, don't do that, da-da-da-da, said my piece, da-da. I ain't think nothing of it. About almost to my house to meet my mother for the first time.
Ooh.
She goes, I got a secret to tell you.
Ooh.
And I'm like, a secret? Okay, what the hell's a secret? And it was like, promise you won't be mad. I hate when they do that.
Oh, I'm getting mad.
Promise I won't be mad. Then it sounds like something I might get mad at. And so, like, I'm like, nah, whatever. What's your secret? And she goes, this ain't my 19th birthday. It's my 18th. I'm literally almost at my house, and I start driving around my neighborhood. I'm like, I'm not parking in my driveway of my mother's house until resolved. Like, what do you mean you're 18? Because by this point, we already had been intimate. Like, I was already feeling some kind of way. I was 23 with an 18-year-old. But you trying to tell me I was 23 with a 17-year-old makes me feel, we already had this discussion last week, America, where yuck.
Nasty.
yuck. and more
Ew.
yuck and whatnot. And so I'm driving around and like, yo, I'm like, tell me, like, nah. Then after I've driven around my neighborhood about 30 minutes, she's like, ha, I'm just playing. I was just mad at you because you swiped in my hand at the radio. And I'm like, what kind of toxic bitch are you to put me through this kind of stress for a radio? You took it up to that level.
I got a story
For a radio? And I was like, you are the most toxic person I've ever been around.
I have a question before you get into your story,
right.
Kat. Like, did you swat or did you pop her head?
Yeah, like, did you gently move it or did you like, pop?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Because I feel like you might have whacked.
I think you probably like.
And she was like, nigga.
Was that a justifiable recourse of action, though?
To me, no, but.
Those are her feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That just reminded me.
That's why I don't mess
So
with
I
these kind
have
of
a
women no
question.
more.
I think to really understand this, and I think this will help the audience. I was watching an episode of Boomerang on BET.
Oh,
the series.
okay.
Oh, I was
The
like,
series,
episode,
not the movie.
And they did an episode on toxic masculinity. And without giving too much away, I left feeling like, well, that doesn't really explain what being toxic is. So I think it's good to clearly identify what are traits of a toxic person. Is it just the negative language? Is it the maliciousness? Is it the intent? Like
I think a lot has to do with intent.
I think it's intent, but I also think it's like a case to case because what's toxic to me might not be toxic to you. There's like some general stuff in there, but there might be somewhere I'm like, I think that's toxic, and you might be like, it's not that toxic.
See, I think that's where I get confused with it, especially for men having the conversation, because I feel like everything we do is toxic. And so it's just like...
Now, wait, before you go, I just want to get my story before I forget because I have horrible memory. Since that reminded me, my senior year in college, my ex-girlfriend was my ex-girlfriend. Well, yeah, she's my ex-girlfriend now, duh. But my girlfriend at that time was staying in my room, and I had to go drive to the store or something. It's like snow because it's upstate New York or whatever. So I drive in, I go in my room, I'm like looking for like my keys and stuff, and I'm like, yo, I can't find it. So, but to my apartment, there's 2 entrances. So I went on the back entrance, but to go back outside, I went through the front. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck are my keys? I go out to the front, because I was like, let me go back and look. I slip on ice. I'm talking like feet above head, like boom on my back. I come in back in my apartment, my whole pants is wet, my back is wet. She's like, you bust your ass on that ice in front of the apartment, right? I was like, you knew there was ice there and you didn't tell me? She's like, yeah, because you was yelling at me when you was looking for your keys. So I was like, fuck you. I was like, the devil, my baseball career could have been over. My hip really hurt at that moment. And that story just reminded me, I was like, my hip still, I just remember the pain.
Who are you finding to date? This is very scary.
No, I think that's where it comes. I think the toxicity, and we want to define toxic behavior. I really think it's the intent to get a rise or to pay back your partner for slights or perceived slights.
Touche.
Into it. Because I know men who go out of their way to get rises out of the women they're dating. They do shit on purpose. Flirting in front of them. Like, why are you doing that?
Like, you just want to fight. Like, why?
Like you want to fight, or being demeaning to them for no reason. Even with like arguments, everyone has arguments. We argue all the time on this show. But for me, like to like argue with Cass and say something completely personal and off base outside the merit of the particular conversation we're having, like why are you saying that?
I'd be like, it's not that deep, Mike. Like, why are we going there? Like, we're in center field. You just went all the way to left. Like, why are you doing that?
And I think that's the main thing about the toxicity of things that happen. So let's say a woman, a toxic behavior, you didn't do something for her that she didn't like. So now she tells her girlfriends that you beat her. That's some toxic shit.
That's super toxic.
Okay. Yeah, I went to the extreme.
Yeah, the example I was
going
to give you is just like, you ain't cleaned some shit in the house that she told you to clean. And she's like, that's why you like your dad. And you're like, you know how I feel about my dad. It's like, whoa, that has nothing to do with the dishes.
You literally hit a nerve.
Yeah, that's
like,
exactly what it is.
Okay, got it.
Like, you'd be like, and that's the nerve that you'll think about it all day. You'll be like, hours later, like, yo, why the fuck she went there? She know how I feel about my dad. Like, whatever. It's like, I ain't go to that extreme, but like,
you know that happens.
It happens all the time. So it's like, yeah. But niggas do, it's like, but for guys, you can make the argument that 7 out of 10 shit guys do is toxic. You can make that argument. Whether I agree, that's a different debate. But
I don't know. This is one of those conversations where I feel like the sexes are equal. And I think women are probably just as capable of being.
I think anyone is capable.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think for guys, just by default, we always get you guys are definitely like, you're just toxic. It's in your blood. You're type toxic, you know. So
your blood type toxic.
Like,
yeah, you can't donate your blood. It's too toxic.
Yeah, like you'll infect someone, you know. But I just didn't fully understand. Like Malcolm and Marie, that was easier because like, you know, they were saying things that I just.
And I don't think she said anything wild, personally. At least in my opinion, based on the movie, I don't think she said, compared to what they both were said in the argument.
She did say something that was hurtful.
Yeah, I thought the wildest thing she did was the acting scene when she did what she did. I don't want to go too deep, but that's when it poked out head because
I don't even think that's
If you looked in his eyes, he didn't know what to do. It was like utter helplessness, like yo, hey baby, hey, I ain't mean to do all that.
That would be the most quote unquote toxic thing she did. But also, based on their arguments about what they were arguing about, I get why she did that. But then I also get him at the end of it too, like, what the fuck was this? Like, so like I understand. So yeah.
I just think this is good for me though because I think
The
it helps
Brodies
me.
are here to help, man. We here. We
No,
out here.
I'm saying that's one of the reasons why I am very cautious about dating because I think that would be something that I wouldn't know how to do, how to have an argument. Because my resolve would be not to talk at all and
You
just
can't do
Nah,
that.
you can't
You
do
can't
that.
do
Right.
that, man.
That's
which is-
worse.
yeah.
That's,
I know
You
that.
ignoring me? You ain't got nothing to say with your punk ass? Why gotta be a punk? Why gotta be a punk? Like, yeah, but
And
I'm
see,
not
for
mature.
me, when I hear that, I would immediately go to your childhood and be like,
damn, Brian.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and
see,
this is
why-
why.
You pissed the bed on your 5th birthday.
Whoa,
be like, damn, Brian.
Damn, Brian.
Yo, Brian, bring that shit. You be like, nigga, I pissed him when I was
Like,
like
I wouldn't
5.
curse. I wouldn't curse at her. I wouldn't do any of that. I would just say that one thing that, like,
Like your mom, like that's why you ain't got no edges. Your mama burnt your edges. Like
Yeah, something like that.
Damn, Brian.
Like,
That's why you ain't got no ass. You be like, damn, what?
So the thing is that I kind of
That's why you're
took
missing a toe.
from work is that I like to tend to set parameters for the arguments.
That's good.
Like you can argue, but we're not gonna yell, we're not gonna scream, we're not gonna do that. If anyone who's ever dated me, y'all can quote me on this. Sans my ex-wife. But anyone else who has dated me, like there's no really big blow ups or anything like that because like I decided long ago, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to expend the energy. I'm not going to expel the energy. If we can't talk to each other civilly without being personal about it, even though it's a personal thing, without personal jabs and stuff like that, then we're not going to have this conversation.
we can't fight fair.
If we can't fight
Because you could
fair.
throw jabs, but jabs in the context of what you're talking about.
And see, that's where I'm kind of sick because I would be so into winning.
See, that's the thing. It's
ain't
not a winning.
Yeah.
about winning.
Yeah,
about
it's
winning.
not about winning. That's the one.
I think that's where I struggle because, like, I feel like with women, period. Oh God, this is probably something very problematic. But I feel like by default, sometimes because it is a woman, that you have to always give in when you are having an argument.
Huh?
You don't have to always get
What?
That's my view. Like, I feel like I'm wrong by default, right? So no matter what I say in the discussion, even if I'm 1,000% right, if I did,
I get what you're saying.
yeah, then there's no winning. So in my mind, it's like I'm never going to win an argument, or I'm never going to get to a point where my side will either be acknowledged or respected. So rather than play fair, let me just nip it in the bud so I can have peace.
I would say for that one, in the beginning, you don't know that because when you first argue with somebody, you're still in the beginning stage. You don't know how people argue. You're still learning that because when you meet somebody, you meet them in like the honeymoon phase. So you have to learn like, all right, how do you argue? You'll see little signs based on how they act or react to certain stuff, but you just got to see like, okay, this is kind of how they argue.
Yeah, Malcolm.
I told you it was Malcolm. When I watched it, I texted. I was like, yo, you're Malcolm. Watch it. So it's like, okay, you kind of see like how people argue. But then once cooler heads will prevail eventually, then that's kind of when you have conversations, like calm conversations, saying, like, all right, you made your point about this, but you ain't have to go there about my missing toe, whatever, like, because you said that before. Like, you ain't got to go there about it. But just learning to set parameters slowly. Now, will it happen overnight? No. But if you can if you can see, like, little changes and, like, less and less jabs, that means, okay, you're starting to see, like, all right, they're human, so that you're still gonna make the mistake, but they're trying to be cognizant of when they're doing it. So you have to like kind of be able to learn and build with it. So that's like how I do it. But like I told someone before, sometimes you just gotta learn to take the L, and that goes both ways.
See, that doesn't work for me.
Nah,
I played baseball my whole life.
Let me be real.
And 3 out of 10 is in the Hall of Fame in baseball. So you learn that if you fail 7 times out of 10, you're still a Hall of Famer. You learn to take the L. Like, all right,
Yeah, sometimes in relationships, man, you're not always gonna win. Now you can say your piece, speak your mind, but you're just not gonna win, you know. And I think that comes with time and wisdom. You know, my old man told me like, look, every argument you don't have to like be King Kong. Like you're gonna take some losses, and I've taken some losses in arguments. Like you know what, you got it. You got it. You got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I hear you. I get it. I said my piece clearly. This whatever we were arguing about, it affected you more. I need to see that from your point of view instead of my point of view. And sometimes You got
But
it. You
then
got it.
and see, that statement alone is problematic because it's like, shouldn't we try to see it from both?
Yeah.
But you don't need to do it in the moment. You can see my side maybe after.
I have to wait.
Nigga, it's life. You don't wait.
Brian, you a real one, Brian.
No, like-
yo, you a real one, man.
here's the
Yo,
thing.
and I'm not even mad at you.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Like, 'cause I feel it.
now see
I
how
wanna
you
do it.
operate. I see how you roll, Brian. I get it, man.
Yo,
I was
trust
like
me.
that too. I was like that
Trust
too,
me, in
Brian.
my
but-
heart, I'm with you. Like,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's also like, that's not a reality because it's a two-way street. It's like, sometimes when you're trying to make a point to them, you want them to see it in the moment. It's like, sometimes people just don't. You just don't see it in the moment. You have to go back, reflect on when you're alone and you think about like, oh, whatever. But a point that I wanted to make was that some of the best relationship advice I got was from one of my brother's friends. And he was like, yo, put it like this. At the end of the night, most nights, what you trying to do? Trying to get some, right? Is winning the argument worth not getting it?
Nah, that ain't my
Hey, man,
mantra no more.
I'm tired. I got parent-teacher conference tomorrow. But I get
No,
what
but
you're
like,
saying,
it was
though.
just said as a joke. And I was
Hey,
like,
look, I got time.
sometimes you do. If
I
whatever
have a
you're talking
hand if
about,
I really want it. But I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like, it's just that to me. I think, and I feel like.
but
that's
overall point, I'm just saying, sometimes learn to take that out. That's me.
But I don't want sex to be weaponized.
Oh,
like-
that
Well,
it
man.
wasn't like a real thing when he said. He was like kind of joking when he said it, but it's like I get the premise of what he was trying to say. Like most nights, you want it just to be peaceful.
It
So
might
depending on what
be.
the argument is it that deep for you to go in? Like, no, my point is,
Wo-
sky is blue.
listen,
No, it's not.
Women cut deep.
They do.
Women cut deep.
They do.
Like, think about this, right? I'm out with my old lady, right? Some dude say something slick to her. I get knocked out. We get in an argument.
Oh, she gonna bring that shit up.
That nigga knocked you out.
So
Right, it's just
I'm
Like,
gonna
why
get-
you bringing that up? I was defending you.
I was defending your honor,
but,
bitch.
But that's some women are like that. Some men are the same way. Some men like, oh, you know what? Say a girl told you, oh yeah, like when I was like 12, like I got bit by a dog. You can argument, go get that damn dog again. Like, but that's how people communicate, and it shouldn't be like that. Our argument should be, okay, you say your piece, I say my piece. Let's find a common ground.
It's me in the middle somewhere.
Understand each other's points of view and just work on not crossing those boundaries. That's what the argument should be like, right?
So
it should
between
be.
the three of you, how often do you work within those parameters?
I work in the parameters all the time.
Yeah, I
man.
would say
I'm
every-
just
every
old,
day.
dog.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
some of it's
As
not
you get
just-
older, yeah, you get wiser. It's like, you know what? I'm not about to even argue about that. Like, it's not worth it. Some things are not even worth arguing.
Yeah, you gotta learn about it though.
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's trial and error. You're not
Yeah.
gonna know that off rip. It's gonna be like you learn the hard way. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't went that far. Ooh.
And I think
build up.
minor spoiler, but I think part of the whole Malcolm piece is that he didn't really know how to deal with real life independent of his work. And I think because he everything that he did, it contributed to a story somehow. Even when he was talking about all the previous lovers or whatnot, I think that was just weaponizing or utilizing those scenarios for
The story.
the story that was going on. But when it came to him and when she was calling out points that dealt with him specifically, he couldn't really respond to that because he didn't know how to really articulate or to respond in a realm of reality.
Because a lot of the times, toxic moments happen when sometimes when your partner makes a point that's like you're too deep in an argument and they're like, oh shit, they're right.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I'm too far gone now.
All right, so just epiphany,
Epiphany.
light bulb, all that good stuff. I believe. I won't say I am. I believe I am not toxic when I'm in a relationship. I do believe that I may come off. I do believe I may come off toxic when I'm not in a relationship because at that point I do not care about you enough to do the things that you would want me to do. I.e., you want me to just commit to you as a person or whatever and not have multiple partners. It was like, nah, I'm going to have multiple partners because, like, you're not my old lady, so
So
what are you talking about, woman? Like, that's not how the game works. When you got me, but when you don't, you don't. But I ain't never gonna lie to you. And if you find that toxic, it is what it is. I told you the rules. When I get bored, though, with people, I do cut off people. I do ghost. But, you know,
That's toxic shit.
I guess it's common courtesy that I should be like,
I'm guilty of that too.
yeah, I guess it's common courtesy that I should be like, hey,
This ain't it.
this ain't it, and have that common courtesy, but why?
and the argument would be that's the toxic trait is the why. It's like, no, wouldn't you want somebody to give you that common courtesy?
Honestly,
They
no.
don't.
They don't. I think because
Just because they don't do it don't mean you don't want it.
Two wrongs don't make it right. That's what you're trying to say?
Yes,
well,
yes.
not only that,
Yes.
but
Two
when
negatives make a positive, though. I teach math.
You said it's true. You got a point there, Cass. You got a
Malcolm
point.
agree. They make
Actually,
they
it's
positive.
genius. But I
Negative and
think-
negative, positive.
when you're so used to what he described happening, and when you're tired of playing that role, it's easier just to say screw why. You know what I mean?
I agree. Like the points that you are
I'm
making.
never gonna get a date after this episode.
You're not that bad. I've seen worse.
No, there's terrible, terrible dudes out there.
Yeah, it's way worse. It's way worse. Like,
Terrible,
you're a great
Beyond
catch. Yeah,
terrible.
you're-
Beyond terrible.
Beyond
Like,
terrible.
they're the worst. They are trash.
But it's like just because it's happened to you so much, I get that premise was like people ghost me and you're like nobody gives me the common courtesy, but it's still just like you have to make that conscious decision within yourself. You'd be like, nah. Even if this happens to me, it's like, nah. I'm still gonna be like, yo, this ain't it, fam. You gotta dash. Conversation is awkward. Sometimes you just don't want to do it. Sometimes the person doesn't deserve it. But at the end of the day, it's like if you could sleep with it, like if you could sleep doing that and you cool, then who the fuck am I to say anything to you? But just like at the end of the day, what can you sleep with that night and be okay with? If you're okay with it, then you're okay with it. That's
So, if I'm understanding correctly, as long as you stay within the parameters that are set and you don't do anything to overtly hurt someone,
yeah.
then that is what.
That's a general like not toxic. Oh, that's a general toxic trait, I guess. If you were arguing about the remote and you bring up like something that happened to me when I was 5, it's like why? Like just stay whatever we're arguing about, just stay there.
God,
Don't go.
I've really hurt a lot of people though.
Because it's like toxic ass nigga.
Hell,
Because I
most
remember
toxic
I got
one,
into
yeah.
a fight with a friend, and this is the most savage I've ever been. And she
Brian's
was,
a savage.
like, she was coming for me, and I was like, I literally said, and I regret it to this day because she didn't talk to me for like 4 days. I said, oh well, this is why you can't keep a man. This is why.
See, like why?
I literally
My nigga,
said
why?
that.
Why would you
And-
say that?
Even if it's true, even if
I
it's
was
true,
like,
why
this
would you
is-
say it?
I literally said, I think my exact words were, "Oh, this is why he left."
Oh no!
Oh no, we not friends. Nah,
and
we
then
not
I
rocking.
was just
Yeah.
like, and
Nah.
she was shocked because she was like,
My nigga, what?
and so my best friend was like, literally changed the subject right away.
Oh no,
And-
it's over. You
and
can't
then I
change.
made the sad mistake of doing it in front of all her girlfriends, right?
Oh, damn.
And so then everyone's looking at me like,
You bitch ass nigga.
Well,
yeah,
well,
like,
well.
but, and so
You need emotional intelligence, Brian.
I probably do. And she didn't talk to me for 3 days, and it wasn't until day 2. No, I'm not gonna lie. I realized it that night when I tried to call and she wasn't picking up the phone.
Nigga, why am I
and then, like 3 days later, the way the three of you are looking
Yo,
at me,
you the
it's
dick.
just
Don't call
like-
me. Like, yo, if you see that phone, yo, fuck that nigga. Yo, I'm not talking to
And
you.
she
Terrible,
told me, she
boy.
was like, yo, I didn't appreciate that. Like, I told you that because I thought we were friends and I could be
Yeah.
vulnerable with you in that moment. And I'm like, well, yeah, but we were arguing. And you said, like, all these things. And she was like, no.
But I didn't go personal.
I didn't go there. And I was like, what's there? Like, you just kept.
Yeah, we're gonna
And
need
my-
to teach
my-
you an emotional class.
My friend had to explain it to me. She was like, you went for the kill. Like, you literally.
You went for the jugular.
You went for the, those were
Like,
exact
sometimes,
words.
like,
And from that moment, I was like, okay. this
Karate
is-
chopped her on the neck.
Whap. Kill Bill status.
But I'm proud to say I haven't made that mistake again.
Growth,
You know,
growth.
I've
Because no one telling you no more personal information.
Yeah, that's why. Like, don't tell that nigga shit.
No,
Know what he
I
does.
think
Keep it in
my
because-
relationship.
Because I did have that experience, I do value people's truth a little bit more. And so I'm very careful to compartmentalize that into that parameter of don't go here. Like, if you're telling me this goes in that foul box of like,
Yeah.
You don't.
don't
If
bring
you
it
ever
up.
bring this up to me, it's me and you, one-on-one. Nobody is in earshot, nothing.
But I don't think I would have had that
Dog.
experience.
I mean, no, it happens to everybody. Like,
She should have laid hands on you, player.
nah, facts. Like, we got to fight. Before we could go over, we have to
Not
throw
fight.
hands. Nah, we
just,
have to
I'm
throw
gonna
hands.
smack the shit out you. Just once.
Well, I'm just assuming that if I smack you, you gonna smack me back. So,
she a
like,
girl. So
Well,
nah.
that's why for
you
him,
gotta
I'm
take
surprised.
that. You gotta take that. L.
Oh no, yeah, of course.
You gotta
And
eat that.
You
I
know,
felt horrible though.
and now when you just gotta
Call
take it and be like,
Brodies.
all right, whatever. I was just saying, like, and I guess I was using
I
the guy
felt really
example.
bad that night because that's when I knew like, okay,
Nah,
this
you
is
fucked
serious.
up.
But when it happened, I was like,
Yeah.
I really felt.
I did that shit. Yeah.
Who won the argument? I did.
Yeah, boy. King Kong ain't got shit
You know
on
what I
me.
mean? That did.
I felt so good, but like
It's like a Wolf of Wall Street beating his chest, like, yeah, I did that.
I will never do that again. Like,
Lord.
But it's all trial. It's all trial and error though. Like,
Nah, that's
and
funny,
that's how
though.
you learn. Like, and we like anyone in this world have said some toxic things or
right.
done something at some point in their life. Whether we agree or disagree if it was toxic, we've all crossed that line. And it's trial and error. Like it's trial and error. If a friend tells you something in confidence, you can never bring that up.
Right.
Because they came to you with that sensitive information. Say, hey,
They trust
I
you
trust
enough.
you for you to hear this.
Right.
You can't bring
That's why
this
you
up.
got chlamydia.
What? Like, nigga. You got it down now.
Yeah.
I know that now, and I think I was still relatively young when that happened. But,
How young?
It's no excuse for it, and I apologize profusely afterwards.
That's a
but-
growth. That's a growth.
Oh, no,
yeah.
it's a course
yeah.
growth.
Yeah.
But still, fuck.
But I value people just differently, and when they share anything like that, I just know this is what you don't pull from when you're having a discussion.
This is why I don't tell people a lot of stuff anyway. Nowadays, I keep stuff to myself.
Like, you got
to the chest,
yeah,
player.
I always open up. Gerard, you never open up. You exactly. That's exactly why.
But
Because
the funnier part about it is, as an inverse, that's probably why I don't open up, because I'm like, you're not going to weaponize anything I give you against me.
And that's why it's like,
I share everything I share with y'all. I'm a pretty open book. It's stuff I don't care if you weaponize or not, because I don't care. There's very few stuff that I care about. I lost all my shame a long time ago when I started teaching middle school. They wiped me clean of all those insecurities, man. But I really want to come to this conclusion as we wrap this up, that a lot of toxic behavior comes from hurt people
hurt people.
hurting other people.
So true.
And that may have came from their households, the way they were groomed, the way they were raised, whatever roles they play. And the only way they can find solace and control in their life is by denigrating other people or affecting power in a situation where they generally feel powerless. And so, get counseling, everybody.
Words.
Get counseling.
See a therapist, nigga.
With that being said, I'm Mr. Brown.
Shalom.
Cass.
B.
Nah, it's Malcolm. You Malcolm, nigga.
Am I Malcolm now? That's my new.
You been
Malcolm
I texted
Elliott?
you off rip that yo, this movie is you. You're Malcolm. I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think having a conversation really amplified it a little bit more, and it's causing me to just rethink some
At
things.
the end of the day, even though people don't like it, sometimes it's cool to take the L. It's cool.
I'm learning that I don't know if I'm ready to embrace that fully.
Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls, but he lost. He took 3 L's, but he got 7. So it's like, okay, it's okay. It's okay.
That means that he got the rings.
Yes.
Okay.
So he went to the big championship 10
7
times. 10 times.
10 times.
He won 7 out of 10. So he got to get 3 L's to get the 7 rings.
All these
It's not
niggas
that
gonna go on a tangent at the end.
That is a valid point.
bad. Okay, sorry.
I'm Malcolm.
I don't give a damn about Tom Brady or his dumbass friends. Who the Brodies?